Resnick Exhibition Pavilion. It does embody the mission of this museum. It's a beautiful, light-filled, open floor plate connected to the outside and to house the diversity of our collections and exhibitions and art from all time and all places. And that's what we're all about. The celebrations begin this weekend and next week as we open the doors to our members. And then we'll have a free community weekend over October 2nd and 3rd, which you can come back for as well. And we'll invite all of Los Angeles then to see the new building and the inaugural exhibitions. There'll be activities, music, talks, and of course the whole museum will be open for free. The genesis of this project dates to my first day on the job, actually, and instead of going to LA, I went to Paris, April 1, 2006, to see Renzo Piano and to see what he was really planning for this museum and to have a conversation with him. That conversation resulted in drawing a little square on the plan suggested by the grid that he had set up for his new view of the campus. And that little square, some years later, is now, well, it's actually a little smaller than that square, but it's that square that you see there and has come into being now. One of the key features of the building and what we've done here, as you see, is to create a sense of indoor and outdoor. The weather is the inspiration, and one of the features of the building is the gardens and the exterior. The gardens were designed by an artist from Los Angeles, Robert Irwin, quite beautifully done. And I do remark that it's such a pleasure to work with artists. We are all here to celebrate the work that artists have done, not just now, but for many, many centuries before us, and thousands of years if you look at the Olmec show. You know, I think by now, that this was designed by Renzo Piano as part of this whole master plan for the campus. And I'd also like to acknowledge Antoine Chaya, who's here somewhere, who is the chief designer for the entirety of this project with Renzo, phases 1 and 2. I think it's 7 years now for the whole project and thinking about it, so that's what it takes to build something like this, and that's fast. Renzo is, of course, one of the most renowned architects in the world. We really appreciated that he lent his talent to this city and to this museum, collaborated with our artist Robert Irwin, and continues to be a great friend. One of the architecture critics remarked, I think, in seeing the building's low profile from the exterior, that it was the baby piano. When you walk inside and see nearly an acre of light-filled space, purpose-built, one of the largest open-plan museums spaces in the world, I think you'll all agree it's the grand piano, for sure. The idea of the space is its flexibility. There are no fixed walls. It's one open space. You can have light or darkness as you wish, and you have a permeable look at the park. You can see out as well. And the idea, again, is to mix exhibitions. So for the opening, we wanted to demonstrate the versatility of this building, so we chose 3 very diverse contents and different designers. The show in the center gallery is about the Olmec, the most ancient culture, the Mexican Olmec. And I thought that that was particularly appropriate, not only because we're celebrating the bicentennial of Mexican independence, but also because when we look forward, I think, with this modern building into the future of Los Angeles, it's important to look at our very origins. And this is the origins of our civilization of the Americas. And so that's our starting point, if you will, for this. We have this beautiful loan exhibition. I must acknowledge, because it's been a huge collaboration over many years, those that participated in making this exhibition, partly in collaboration with the Mexican government. And I would like to recognize and thank Ambassador Arturo Sarucán, Andres Garnier Melo, who's the governor of the state of Tabasco, Fidel Herrera Beltran, who's the governor of the state of Veracruz, Juan Marcos Gutierrez Gonzalez, who's the Consul General of Mexico, and I think going to be with us here this weekend, Dr. Diana Magallone, who's the director of the National Museum of Anthropology in Mexico, Dr. Sara Ladron de Guevara, the director of the Anthropological Museum in Jalapa, who's here with us today, and we're so happy to have her with us. Virginia Fields, our curator of pre-Columbian art, Berta Sea, who's part of the American Embassy in Mexico and a great friend, and I should note that this exhibition will travel to the San Francisco Museum of Fine Arts, our collaborator. And finally, Fashioning Fashion, which is a display of work from our permanent collection. And when asked about this exhibition pavilion at a time when blockbuster exhibitions are harder to do, why are you building an exhibition pavilion? Because not only will we continue to do exhibitions, but because our permanent collection can be used with that same sense of spirit that you'll see in the presentation of the costumes here. I would like to acknowledge also Suzanne Saperstein and Ellen and Michael Michelson, who made this acquisition possible. It's really a landmark acquisition for LACMA. And also Sharon Takeda and Kay Spilker, our curators here. And last but not least, the exceptional private collection of Linda and Stuart Resnick is on display. It is, as you may know, the great museum collections of the world were almost all built on the assembly of private collections. And it's private collectors who have led us so often in the history of museums. And this is a great glimpse of the Resnick collection that's never before been presented in public like this, and so we're so grateful to them. I should acknowledge also Patrice Marindel, our curator of European painting and sculpture, who curated the show, and Bernard Jazar, who is the curator of the Resnick collection, who was an invaluable resource. And I will later talk about Pierluigi Pizzi and his collaborator Massimo, who are here as designers of the show. Finally, I'd like to say that this is the heart of the campus, and the idea is to establish this place as a gathering space for Los Angeles in a great multicultural city. This multicultural museum of art is a place for all of us to come together. I should note that we are especially happy that we've raised over $320 million overall in our recent transformation campaign, including $118 million in phase 2 so far. The attendance in the museum just in the last 2.5 years, has grown from 600,000 to 950,000, and we are so honored to erect this new building in the name of Linda and Stuart Resnick, who have been longtime supporters of the museum and continue to guide us in so many things that we do. We are so pleased that they're here and to celebrate this historic event with us. I also would like to thank the County Board of Supervisors for their help always and forever in establishing this museum, in supporting us always and in the future. And with us, we